Hi, it's Dan with Secure Technical Solutions. I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough here on how to use the Smart PSS software. And basically, when you open the software up, you are going to get this screen here. This is your home page. If you want to view a camera live or view a system live, you're going to click on this live view right here. That brings up by default 4 windows. If you have a 16 camera system, you do not want to leave this on the 4 windows if you're planning on watching all of your cameras. So I'm going to pick one of these sites here, and I'm going to leave it on the 4 camera split. If I double click on the name of the site, it's going to bring up 4 cameras into those 4 windows. If I then want to switch to a 16 camera view, it only loaded those first 4 windows. So right click, close all video. I'm going to close all video. Another thing that happens sometimes is if you accidentally click on this square, which is square 7, and then double click on the name of a site, it's going to start loading that site from starting with the square that you selected and then continue on from there. Camera 1, camera 2. So I'm going to right click, close all video. I'm going to make sure I'm selected up in this box. Not here, but here. If I select in the top left box, I'm at 16 cameras, and then I double click on the name of my site. It will load all of the cameras for that site starting at the top left with camera 1. This button down here says original, and if I hit the triangle next to it, drop down menu, I can say full wind. That stands for full window, and that will get rid of these black bars on the side of a picture and blow it up to fill in the entire spot. Full window. That applies to all the cameras that you're currently viewing. So after I select 16, load all my cameras, then I can go back to 4 cameras or 8 or 9 or view all 16 again. Once you're viewing your cameras, you can double click on a camera and it will load just that camera full screen. Double click again, takes you back to your multi-view. If you are viewing something live and you're interested in seeing what's going on, okay, I see these 2 people. What store did they come from? You have the ability to right click on that picture and say start instant playback. Instant playback. It will then go for a determined amount of time, which is set up in the settings. I think by default it's 10 minutes. But it'll instantly initiate a search for the last 10 minutes. And this green progress bar shows up at the bottom. And I can just click to the last couple minutes, and now I can see that these 2 individuals came out of the Verizon Wireless store. Click this bottom X at the bottom of the screen over here, and that will get you out of your instant playback and get you back to your live screen. That's a nice feature. If you want to do a search of this camera here for the past day, you can right click and just say playback. That will automatically load just that camera for the duration of the time that happened today so far. So as you can see, our progress bar down here, when we hit the playback, shows 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 19. And that means that up until right now, that's all the video that was recorded during the day. So I can just click on the 12 if I wanted to, and that shows me around noon what happened on that camera today. That is the quick way to search a single camera for today. Now, just like Internet Explorer, your browser has tabs, this program has tabs up here. So when I loaded playback, it opened a tab. My live view is still right here. If I click on that tab, I can toggle between live view and playback. I can click on the little X on my live view tab, and now that just leaves my playback tab, and I can close that. Now I'm back to my home page. So let's quickly review playback. When you open up a playback tab from your home page, at any time you can click home and get to all these settings. I'm going to go back to the playback tab that I just opened. I typically recommend searching 1 camera at a time because it's just easier and simpler. So there's 4 views on here by default. You want to go over here to the right and you have a plus sign next to default group. When you expand that group, you get the list of all the recorders that you have access to. So you would just pick the recorder that pertains to most likely just your recorder, your one recorder there. So I'll just expand a specific recorder with the plus sign next to it, and I'm going to pick one of the cameras in that recorder. So I'm going to say camera 2. Now, down here on the bottom right, you're going to see from and a date and time and to and a date and time. That is your starting point and your ending point of what you would like to search. There is no reason to ever put a time and date into either of those fields. You start with the from. We selected our camera. Start with the from. Hit the drop-down menu next to it, the triangle, and now it's going to show you in green days that have recording for that camera on that system. These left and right arrows take you back to the previous month, to current month, when you hit the left and right arrows. So I selected camera 2. I hit the drop-down menu next to the date and time under the from field, and then I can pick last Wednesday. I'll click one time on that date and hit OK. It automatically loads up that camera with a starting time of 0 and an end time of 23:59 and 59 seconds, which means I'm going to load all 24 hours of that day's worth of video. That's fine. Always just load the entire day, then go down to the specific time in the timeline of what you're looking at. So, to review, open playback, expand your site, select your camera, drop down menu on from, pick your date, OK, and then you hit the search button. Now it populates the timeline down the bottom with all the data, all the video that was stored on this specific date, every second of that day for that camera. So at this point you just click on 1400. We're looking around the 2 o'clock time. I'll click that. Boom, there's our time of, there's our video of that time. We're at 14:01 and 3 seconds, and you'll see the time progressing. It's in white down here where it's playing. Now at this point, if I want to go back just a couple minutes and I go back, I just moved back 6 minutes because everything is so condensed in here. From here to here is the entire day's worth of video. So once I'm in the general area of where I want to be for the day, I use the mouse wheel and you scroll in. Now wherever you have your mouse resting, that is where your time is going to expand from. So what you're doing is you're taking these 24 hours of time and you're going and you're spreading it out with the wheel. So I'm looking at around 1908. I'm going to keep scrolling in at that time. Okay, now that's as far as I can go. Now what I just did is I went from, this is 1905, this is 1910, this is 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So this whole bar here is now 5 minutes. Now if I want to go back just a little bit, I'm going back 5-6 seconds at a time. You know, it's a more accurate way to navigate your way through searching. If you're in the general area of, you know, I want to see what time these people went out to their car. So I know that it happened at this specific time because their car was gone at this time. So I just go in here and I scroll in on the timeline. Now I'm going to scroll back out. And I'm going to, as I scroll out, now I have 24 hours in that day. So right now I'm at 16:20. I want to know what time these two cars showed up. So I'm just going to start bouncing through this time. Okay, there's a car. So now I'm going to back up a little bit. Car's gone. So I know it happened right in this general area here. So I'm going to start scrolling my wheel in. And I'm going to click there. Car's there. Go back a little bit. Car's gone. Scroll my wheel in a little bit further. Click there. There's the car. That quick, you can determine exactly what time this vehicle showed up. 16:51 and 0 seconds. Now, let's just say that that is a valuable incident that you want to back up. I am going to back up in my timeline here just a little bit, and I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to say, okay, this is an important video to back up. So I'm starting at 16:50 and 39 seconds. So what I want to do is go down here on the bottom right to these scissors, and I am going to hit the scissors and when you rest your mouse on it, it says time clip. So I'm going to start a beginning time for backing up a video. I hit time clip, and my cursor here turned into a bracket, an open bracket. That's telling me the start of an event. Now, I'm just going to click down here a little further, a little further. I was interested until these people got out of their car. So I'm just going to pause it there. That's about the end time that I'm looking at. So now I'm going to hit this clip one more time down here. That's right down there. When I hit that clip, I determined an end time. Now you have an open bracket here and a closed bracket there, and it's highlighted in red. That's an event that a duration of time that I'm going to back up. By default, it gives you this path here. You can do anything you want. I'm going to browse. I'm going to put this right on the desktop. I'm going to select that folder. Export format, you typically want to export in the original format. This is how you maintain integrity of the video and you prove to the court that it hasn't been altered. You can select AVI, and that'll be a type of file that can play on Windows Media Player. However, in versions previous to 1.12, the AVI function doesn't work properly. If you have the latest version of Smart PSS, it will back up in the AVI format if you choose. That's a format that you could like upload to YouTube or send to somebody else. All right, so we are going to browse to the location that we want, whether that be our USB thumb drive in our computer, and you're going to export in the original format, and you're going to leave this checked here, Export Smart Player. That means if you dump this onto a thumb drive, it's going to have the player software on that thumb drive that you can give to the police or whoever you need. So, start time, end time, clip, browse to your location, export format, original format, have checked on Export Smart Player, hit OK. It's going to tell you that the camera's playing back. If you want to do a backup, you have to stop playing back. You just hit OK. The playing back goes away. You get a progress indicator telling you how much of your file is completed. Start time and end time. Then I get a little pop-up down here telling me it's done. I can now close that export window. I can minimize my software. Now I'm going to go to my desktop, and these are the two files that were just dumped onto my desktop. The player, it's an executable file, and the video file. So if you put this on a thumb drive, you take it to another computer, all you do is you double click on player, and it's going to pop up that the player software is going to pop up. It's going to ask you if you want to associate files. You just click OK. This is now your player. Then it will automatically load into this window over here all the video files that you backed up onto that USB thumb drive or into this location. We only have one there. If we go back into the software and back up another video file into that same location, it'll show up here when we click on player. So now I'm just going to double click on that video file right here. Now it pops in the window. Double click, brings that up to bigger window. You can resize this, you can maximize it, change the size of it. But what this is it's a the timeline down at the bottom is the same representation as you had on your searching software. So this event, it shows you in green when during the day that happened. You can use your mouse. You can use this button over here to stretch the timeline so that you can go forward, you can back, you can click around in that event to manipulate it. This is a speed control. You can put it on super slow, you can speed it up fast, play, pause. Whenever you're done with this, you can just hit stop or just close this out. But that's how you back up an event. Now, if you are interested in backing up another camera, I can just go and click on another site, another camera. I said camera 2, and I want to go back to Friday. Okay, search. Just loaded that camera 2 for the entire day of Friday. I can go to 6 in the morning. I can go to 4 in the afternoon. So there, that dumpster showed up. When was it not there? I'll just start backing up until it's not there. You can jump about an hour at a time if you're looking for something quickly. Okay, dumpster's open. 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. All right, so somewhere between 8 and 9 is when that dumpster showed up. So I'm going to scroll my wheel in. I'm going to expand that hour. And I can start jumping around. There it is. Back up a little bit, back up a little bit. So right around here is when that happens. Scroll my wheel in the whole way. Now I can accurately manipulate the event. Go there, boom. This is when the dumpster is showing up, right there. You can back up a couple seconds and watch it get wheeled into place. All right, so that is how you would search using a single camera. Searching with multiple cameras is for advanced users, and I typically don't recommend that. So now up on our tabs, we can close playback. We can open live view. Now we're back to our live view. Like I said, expand your group. Choose the whatever more squares than you have cameras. Choose that first. Make sure that you're highlighted on the top left when you start something, and then just double click on the name of your site, and that will load all cameras into your site. Down here, full window, that'll expand the windows out. So that is your typical way of using the software. Any one of these windows, if you want to bring it up full screen, you just double click again, takes you back to your original multi-view. Now, for example, this camera 16. One of the things I did find with internet viewing, if you're viewing these 16 cameras and you double click on one of them, over the internet, it's going to take a long time for you to view that camera because you're using all of resources, pulling in some video from all of these cameras. So it's taking a very long time. So what I do in that situation is I want to see that camera 16 up full screen. I want to dedicate all my internet bandwidth to that. Right click, close all video. Boom. You have this top corner selected. You can go over to the site you want, camera 16, right click, or you don't have to right click. Click in there, double click. That'll load that camera into this window. When you double click on it, it's going to bring it up to full screen. Now you have options here for pan, tilt, zoom. That's what the little triangles are for on the right hand side. You can go up, down, left, right. You can control the camera that way. And that's pretty much it. And then whenever you're all done, you can close those tabs out. You can put standard Windows programming, just X to close. All right, that is about it. Thank you.